Hey, everybody. Hope and pray that you're doing well. Today, as we come to our word from the Word, and today that word is crumbs. Crumbs. Now, if you see from that picture, you get some of that bread sometimes, and it's just so easy for the crumbs to just break off no matter what you're trying to do. And I couldn't help but laugh thinking, our daughter Faith, especially when she was little, but we kind of tease her even to this day, that when she was little, there was no chance that you could not guess where she was sitting at the kitchen table. Because after she got up and left, you could always see all the crumbs in the floor. And so, as where do you think all the pets would come to hang out at her feet? Now, I say all that because as we look today in Matthew chapter 15, we look that Jesus has gone away, gone, kind of gotten out of town, gone to get some rest for him and his disciples. They've been talking back and forth. There's these constant conflicts and arguments about or dealing with the Pharisees and the things that they say, and Jesus is just basically they're just taking some time away. And so it's not unusual for him to withdraw and spend some time in prayer, but here they actually withdraw from town. They get out of town altogether. And so you'll find out where he's at. It's about 30, 50 miles, anywhere in between there, between the two cities, north of Galilee. And so they really did get out of town. But that doesn't mean that he still wasn't going to be doing any work. But if you realize the situation, you realize that maybe was not the sole purpose of him coming. And let's remember, though, with everything, with God, everything is a divine appointment. So this was a divine appointment as well. So Matthew 15, looking at verses 21 through 28, then Jesus went out from there and departed to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely demon possessed. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, Send her away, for she cries out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she said, Yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. Now, I know it's a lot surrounding this, even that some would say, well, I can't believe he just called her a dog. Well, some remember that the Gentiles were known as dogs, and at the same time, by the Jewish audience especially. But having those words come out of Jesus' mouth, we say, okay, well, it couldn't have been just knowing his character, right? It couldn't have been a racial slur at that time. And at the same time, the dogs that he's talking about, the word that he was using had to do more with like house pets, somebody that you would hold dearly. The one that would climb up on the master's lap. And you know as well as I do, those that have pets, they become like some of your own anyway. But regardless, Jesus is drawing out a response in her so the disciples could understand how to deal with Gentiles. I mean, that's really what is the heart of this. So, some commentators will uh, kind of paint the picture here of Jesus kind of smirking or smiling a little bit, knowing that the woman and he understood each other when he was saying it with compassion, right? Should I take this message that is supposed to be for the Israelites, right? It's supposed to be for the children of Israel and give these to who they call dogs, pointing to her, right? He said, it's not good. The reason that he came, his primary earthly focus was to come to the Jew first. Now, let's also remember that he has always been willing to open it to Gentiles. That was always part of the plan as well for all people. But the primary purpose, the first purpose, was to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. So here you see in her faith that, the disciples are already kind of like, hey, let's just get rid of her. And Jesus is even his response to them, hey, I came to the house of Israel, knowing that she hears it. I mean, she's right there. And her response, well, yeah, but I'm not asking for what the children get. I'm not even disagreeing with you that you should feed the children of Israel first. But what she was saying is that, look, even the dogs, if that's what y'all want to call us, even the dogs get crumbs from the master's table. Even they get to come next to the master and get just little pieces of grace that maybe fall off the table. That's all she was looking for. She didn't even try to claim that she had a spot at the table. She didn't try to get a seat at the table. She didn't try to knock the children off or away from the table to get their food. No, all she wanted was the scraps that would fall her way. And you could tell by the response, she knew exactly what was going on, because as Jesus says, great is your faith. She had a selfless desire to get the unwarranted, unmerited grace of God. And she's begging and pleading for her daughter who was demon possessed. And in that moment that he sees her faith, and he has drawn this out to show the disciples as well the faith of Gentiles compared to those arguing just a few verses earlier, arguing about what defiles and what makes you clean and all these things. And he said, here, this is what I'm trying to show you. Today, I wonder if too many times we're trying to knock somebody else off at the table, and we're not even paying attention that our desire should be to want every single crumb that we can get, knowing that we have a God in heaven who sent us the bread of life. But I think we need to understand we're gaining the bread of life as children of God. But our desire needs to be that of dogs that are willing to lick up the floor with the crumbs of grace that he's allowed to fall our way. If that doesn't make sense to you, I would encourage you to get into the Word. I would encourage you to search your heart and see, are you seeking after God because you feel as though he owes it to you? Are you seeking after God wanting to get every little morsel of grace, every little morsel of mercy, every little morsel of truth that you can get, because that alone will satisfy. The bread of God, the Word of God alone will satisfy. Today, are you trying to get the whole loaf, or will you be desiring even the crumbs? God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.